My first blowjob was from two girls at the same time. I think I set the bar a little too high a little too early. What is your NSFW secret that you are proud of? Hey, it's you again. Thanks for coming back to another storytime. I'm Andrew, your narrator. You're going to love this one. While you're here, why not like the video, subscribe, and ring the bell button so you don't miss any more NSFW storytimes with me. If you don't, I'll show everyone in your family your internet history. Let's get into the stories. My GF put a grapefruit on my wang once. I have to delete this before she sees it. I rode a bike for a 40-mile journey on LSD in Tokyo during the height of cherry blossom season. A few times a year, I translate hentai Japanese to English so that other people can enjoy the story too. I once had to call into court as a witness for an altercation that happened at my work. I was placed under oath over the phone. My girlfriend at the time blew me the entire time. I once farted as I got on a packed train in London. I knew it was a killer but played it cool. The doors closed behind me and 10 seconds later a girl sitting next to her boyfriend hits him and shouts, "You're disgusting." I'm a hip disarticulate amputee on my left side, meaning they took the entire leg. I just have a fleshy lump there, right up next to my crotch. This means I get to say my dick is longer than my left leg as a factual statement. There are very few good things about being an amputee, so I take what I can get. I'm currently in a friends with benefits situation with one of my senior managers. It started with a drunken night out, and now we duck pretty much every day. It's quite awkward in the office because she is my boss's boss, and during our business review meetings my face goes red when she asks me something. I ducked my then girlfriend, now wife, on the conference room table of an old job one night. Boss held a training class there the next day. Edit. I am so very thankful that, to my knowledge, none of my family or friends are on Reddit. My wife would be horrified to know thousands of people had seen this post. On our honeymoon, my wife gave me a blowjob while I was standing at the window to our hotel room, looking out over Niagara Falls, Canadian side. To this day, I'm proud to say that I've received a BJ while looking down on one of the natural wonders of the world. Edit. For those suggesting that I add the remaining natural wonders to my bucket list, I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. A bout with cancer and complications from a 22-hour surgery to remove the tumor has resulted in some plumbing problems, among which are inability to get an erection. So, while I have some very nice memories of sex, that's about it. There won't be any new ones anytime soon. I was the male star of a porn shoot on an amateur website based in Ocean City, MD, during the late 90s. Edit. Website was known as viewitlands.com, although the owner, named Baby, passed away a few years later and the domain registration expired. I learned about the studio from a worker in a t-shirt shop on the boardwalk. It was located in West Ocean City, in an industrial park, next to construction businesses if I remember correctly. Very discreet, but a full professional studio with casting couches, beds, etc. But I later learned that it was a widely known and respected site to view paid live amateur porn. The pay rate was $100 per hour. I once made my college girlfriend scream so much and so loud during an orgasm that her downstairs neighbor, she's a kind, elderly woman, came upstairs, rapped on the door, and insisted that if she didn't hear my GF's voice immediately, she was gonna call the cops. We both lay in bed, laughing as my GF reassured her that she was quite well, thank you. After that, she tended to cram a pillow or stuffed animal in her mouth to muffle the sound effects. I masturbated and finished 11 times in a day once. It started becoming physically painful after 7, but I kept at it for some reason. Edit. I was 15. There were no hard drugs in my system. The highest I saw someone reply with was 25. You know what to do, gentlemen. I didn't cum blood, but it hurt. A lot. I could have done more, but I was worried about what would have happened if I did. The pain itself wasn't a deterrent, but the fear was, if that makes sense. I think the closest I got since was 7, but that was because I had a girlfriend at the time that I couldn't physically see. Nowadays in my super lonely adult life, I top out at 1 every couple of days. Sometimes I won't touch it for a month. A busy day is if I let off too. Why the duck were you guys rubbing the skin off of your dicks? If you're going that long, you gotta use some sort of lube. Or not last more than a couple of minutes. When I was that age, I could get done in a minute if I wasn't trying to prolong it. The 11th that day felt like nothing, though. Everything about that wank was my body screaming for me to stop. The first time I came home on leave from the army, I hadn't seen my wife in 7 months. We stayed at my parents' house. She had moved in with her mother at that time to save money. My parents went out the first night we were there to see a movie without us, in a kind of wink-wink nod-nod situation. I had been in an incredibly stressful environment for 7 months without seeing my wife. I was also now highly physically fit. I ducked that girl so hard I broke my cherry wood bed frame, and the bed collapsed underneath us. I was pretty busy that week and forgot to fix it before I left for Germany. The first phone call to my daddy said, "Oh yeah," laughing, "I fixed your bed frame for you. I don't know what you did to that poor girl, but I hope she's alright," more laughing. When I was in college, I lived in a dorm that had a pool table room. One night, I was drunk with my then boyfriend, and we stumbled in there at around 3 a.m. to have sex. We ended up stripping down totally, not really caring about our nudity since the dorm was dead that night. While we were doing the deed, we ended up on the ground on the non-door facing side of the table, and almost immediately, someone opens the door and turns the light on. X and I freeze. I turn my head to look under the table and see their feet freeze as they see our clothes scattered everywhere. Not a noise was made, no one moved, complete awkwardness for what felt like forever, about 7 seconds. The other guy just turned the light off and backed out, and we never got caught. Edit. Okay, we got caught obviously, but I meant that they never found out who we were. Trust me, we would have heard it from someone in the dorm. Sorry for my bad English, it's my second language. Not sure if this fits here. Not proud of the moment, but I am proud of the result. Me and my wife had kids and decided that this was enough children. We got married after the kids were born and went on a honeymoon. We got drunk and had sex without protection. The next day we panicked a bit and went to a drug shop and got a regret pill. My wife took it at the hotel room. Crisis averted. After this we thought nothing about it and continued with the honeymoon. Like half an hour later she gave me a blowjob. She never ever gives me blowjobs as she chokes easily, so this was a real treat for me. When I came hard, and the cum shot landed at the back of her mouth, and she puked all over the floor and my dick. We laughed it off and joked about it for the rest of the vacation. A few weeks after we came home, she did not get her period. We got anxious, and it turned out she was pregnant. The only time we had sex without protection was at that hotel room. When she puked after the blowjob, she must have puked out the pill as well. So, now we have 3 kids. The youngest is as amazing as the other 2, and I am proud to have him. But he must never ever find out how he was conceived. I joined the kink community in my city recently. It's literally the best thing that's happened in my life for a decade. I've made a ton of super nice, interesting friends. I'm super happy all the time. I'm losing weight because I'm practicing knots and I'm too distracted to eat. I learned all the rules, values, etiquettes. The kink community is surprisingly wholesome and responsible, started going to meetings and was accepted very quickly. A few of my older play partners have nicknamed me the prodigy for my advanced level of kinkiness and pain tolerance despite this only being my 2nd month. I was basically made for it. I'm already coordinating kink art projects, as well as all sorts of fun play dates. I get spanked or tied up at least twice a week. The parties are off the hook and completely alcohol and drug free. I love being able to have an amazing time without getting wasted. They do fundraisers for various charities all the time, so I'm doing good. I've also gotten business leads from networking through the community. 2 days ago I had a MMF threesome, 2 men all to myself. And then the next day, back to work as usual. I'm making photocopies of some dumb contract while having crazy sexy flashbacks of doing something I never would have predicted would happen. I feel like a goddess. I'm so proud of this and I'm at a seriously high level of life satisfaction. I live with my parents and just started my first professional, serious person job. All of this is a complete secret, obviously. I have to dial down my response to how are you doing? Because people would want to know more if I said UN ducking believable. My parents think I'm depressed and broody because I constantly have my door locked or I'm going out when they're getting in. Really, I'm just having the time of my life. As a side note, everything I'm doing is safe, safe, safe. Again, the organized kink community is extremely responsible and respectful. Get a mentor like I did if you're interested in getting involved.
Like and subscribe for more funny, interesting, and scary r/ask Reddit videos.